this scene is now burned into my brain, like it wasn't before. This is Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, Frodo catching the ring. It was used in like the trailers. This image is used in like every publication about the movie. If you don't know already, I am learning watercolor by painting movie scenes, and it's something that's keeping me motivated on this watercolor journey. I consider myself a portrait artist. I don't do like scenes, landscapes, anything like that. So this is all very new to me. And I decided it should be easy. For whatever reason, it was not. And you will notice that I don't finish it. I stopped filming it about halfway through. It was looking really bad. I was hating the colors. I was like, it didn't look like Frodo. It didn't look like Elijah Wood. Like it wasn't working out for me. Like that background green, what was I thinking? It is so bright. The thing is, takes place in a tavern at night. The floor is probably dirty. Like, this is the world of men, you know? So, I wasn't thrilled. The colors just weren't popping for me. And I think it may have been the lighting of his face, because it was so, the contrast was so stark from like here. And so it's very dark. On one side of his face, but very light on the other. And Elijah Wood doesn't have a very pronounced nose. He has a very slim nose. So the shadow from his nose didn't quite help create any depth on his face. So I was very frustrated. The whole thing. So you can see right here where I stopped. So one day, after completing a sketch, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and try it. So here's the sketch where I was able to kind of see where the contrast is on his nose, on his face, and get the proportions a little better. So one day I just sat down, no camera, and I kind of got really close and smallest paintbrush and wasn't mixing colors. And here was the result. And I'm still not happy with it, but I finished it. At least now you can tell what it's supposed to be. And this whole experience of painting this scene was so frustrating. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to go to pastel. I have a lot more experience with the pastel, and I'm going to do this scene in pastel. So when I started this drawing, I had already used a projector to just get the image on the page and pencil, and then I went over it with willow charcoal, which is why I start all my pastel drawings with willow charcoal outline, if I do an outline. And that's just to establish the whole thing, and I can fix proportions before I start adding any color. Plus, willow charcoal is very easy to fix. So I went over the whole thing with this sanguine pencil, like a rusty red pencil, and it's really good for sketching. And that was just a way to establish where the shadows are going to be, the darker shadows and the red colors, because there was a lot of red on the figure himself. So I just concentrated on his face first. So I wanted to make sure that was right before I even spent any time on the background or his hand or anything like that. And as you can see, it turned out so much better. And the color for the background, way better on this. It's much more dark, taverny, a little dirty looking, but still has that nice green hue. I really liked it. The hand was a little tricky because his hand is blurred. His hand is blurred because of the perspective of going towards the camera, and the focus is still on his face. It's not even on the ring, but you see the whole thing. It's not like you're focusing on just his face. You really are focused on the ring, even though it's not even in focus, which makes this kind of interesting. This was a lot of fun. It was a little reminder of how far I've come with pastel and how far I need to go with watercolor. I always recommend doing a sketch when it comes to doing contrast and learning contrast. So that's why I did this, because it really helped me kind of see where I need to work with the watercolor. And so I did the watercolor, failed, did the sketch, go back to the watercolor. It worked a little bit better, and then I really able to dive into that pastel and it make it work. Please subscribe to this channel because I will be doing more. As you can, like I said before, I'm doing these movie scenes. I talk about movies. I love movies, and I would love to hear more of what movie scenes you love, especially in Lord of the Rings.